Hello, you guys. This is Aquaria Amethyst. How are you doing? I hope everybody's doing great. I had a good night, a really good night on Kitschy's live tonight. She had invited me and Bernadette on, and Blue Flame also joined in on that live video, and I just had a really great time. I'm really blessed. I'm really blessed, and it was just an amazing event, and I can't wait to go, do a little, another session with them again. I just wanted to make a video touching on some of the things that were addressed. Actually, mainly with the gods of the other nations and what's going on with them, and what's going on with coming of Christ, and the judgments that are coming in. First, I like to say, years before I woke up, I was into a lot of Greek and Egyptian mythology, so it's very, the stories hold a special place in my heart. And, even though I said, one cannot serve two masters, you're either going to love one or hate the other. And even though I said, I have a love for the Egyptian gods, what I meant was not as I worship them, but I have a love and respect for what, the escape that they gave me and our people. And a thing about Egypt is that is the founding place of the Hebrew Israelites. That was our home. And our tribal brother Joseph ruled Egypt. Okay, he was given great power in Egypt. So Egypt holds a special place in a lot of Israelite people's hearts. It was our first home outside of the land of Canaan. It was the first place, that was where we established ourselves as a people in ancient Egypt. Okay, that's why it's it will always feel like sort of like home to us in a sense, because we walked into Egypt 70 people and came out, I think, close to 6 million strong. After we crossed the Red Sea, after being over there for almost 300 years. We went in there 70 people. It was 70 people that walked in among the 12 tribes of Israel and walked out close to 6 million of us. So, no, I don't love them as masters. I want to clear that up in case somebody want to try to use that little snippet against me. No, I don't love them as a master, as, I would never put their word or their will above God's will. I make very clear what God I serve. And he understood what I meant by that. I went through a lot of things growing up, and mythology was my escape. Aquarius people are very an imaginative people, and my imagination was my escape. My imagination was my escape, and there I was, I created an enchanted world for myself to retrieve in, which a lot of aquas will do. Like when we emotionally detach from things, we like to create a mental and spiritual space for ourselves that we can detach from everyone and everything. I haven't spoken about much about the things that I went through as a young girl, but I went through a lot of abuse, a lot of mental, physical, and sexual abuse, and these stories gave me an escape. It was first introduced to Greek mythology during school. During my high school years, I'd say maybe in the 9th grade. And, I remember reading up on it, and I had to do, literature work with the Greek mythology stories. We had a whole class, a whole lesson for a couple of weeks, or for a few weeks, just focusing on Greek mythology and Greek history. And it's one of the places in the world that I really wanted to visit is Greece and even Egypt. Those are two places that are special to me, because I do have past life connections there. And on top of that, our people, the Israelite people, were in both these places, especially ancient Egypt. We were captive under both nations at one point. But there's a possibility in my past life I could have been a devotee to them, because, we had different things going on in past lives. Some of us may have lost our way as souls, whatever the case may be. There's a reason why when I had said to them that y'all are under judgment too, not just these karmics, that they cried the way they did because it came from me. And I'm wondering, what is it about me that makes you want to cry just because I said it? Anybody could have said it, but it felt personal coming from me. So now I do have to wonder at one point where I was at with them. Maybe, as time go on, I will figure out my personal connection with them. We all have a reason why we may favor certain things or like certain things or what may have you. These beings from other nations, they are under the Most High God's judgment. They are under his judgment because of a lot of things that they did. They revolted against him when they were in the heavens, and I don't think they really realized what they really did, like rebelling against the Most High, until it was basically too late. And, like Kichi said in his, I don't think she said this in a video. I think this is a conversation me and Kichi had in one of our groups together. She had said that they basically, ever since they left heaven, they've been basically buying their time, like doing whatever they're doing, like helping with petitions and, governing other nations and things of that nature, and, waiting until their final judgment comes. And it must be getting really close. And especially with me having the dream of Yeshua returning, Jesus Christ returning. And I definitely do believe that he's returning in our lifetime. I mean, it has to be in our lifetime that he returns, because look at all the things that are taking place. He has to come back. Things are getting out of control down here. There's no way we can wait this long, another 50, 70 to 80 years for him to return with things going on. Look at what's happening now. Can you imagine us having to wait another 80 years or him not coming back in our lifetime? It's time. No one knows the day or the hour, but I feel like as the more you feel a panicked energy coming from these beings, you're gonna know time is really winding up for him to return. The powers that shouldn't be, the people that sit at the top of the pyramid, they are predicting his coming through counting the Sabbath. See, why they gave us that fake ass calendar, they have the real calendar and the real dates and the real timeline, and the real time. Because that, in actuality, we really are not in 2021. Okay? Okay, they have screwed up the time. And there's a Bible verse that goes into that they would seek to change times and laws. Okay, I gotta look that up and see if I could remember which Bible verse that was. I'll put it in the description box for you to check it out. But it goes into how they would seek to change times and laws. But they're keeping up with predicting how close he his return is through the Sabbath calendar, through the Hebrew calendar. The Hebrew calendar is the true calendar. It holds the true time, and it holds the true dates, and it holds the true year. So, I'm gonna I think I might download a Hebrew calendar from one of the Israelite camps, and I'll send you a link so you guys can check it out too. But that's how the powers that be, the Hunamati. I don't want to just try to say say that incorrect, but the Manati and the Jesuits. They hold, they hold that information. They're not going to tell you. They I learned listening in on lessons in the Hebrew camps. They're even, predicting. They know where Christ is even going to land. They may not know the exact date because nobody knows the time or the hour, but they can predict how close it is. This is why they built up the military might that they built to fight against the angelic army that's going to come here. Okay, and it's a certain location in the Middle East that Christ is going to land his army. And it's very interesting because in the vision that I had last year, the areas that the angels were coming in looked like very sandy area, and it was a beach. Like after they had attacked, their first wave of attack came in, they set up camp somewhere near sand and beach area. So I remember them coming in, it was sand. It was like a beach area. It looked like an oasis type of place after they had did their first attacks, and then they had rested and was preparing to go, I guess, throughout all the four corners of the earth. And so basically the other nations, they know this. They know he's coming back soon in our lifetime. They know that he's returning, and their gods that they are worshiping, they know this as well, of course, and they are getting scared because they know that judgment is coming. And like we said in the video, they're not working with anybody anymore. Like any of the spells that are being cast at this point are being handled by low level demons, like are dealing with your petitions and whatnot. You're not dealing with the actual real deal beings like Zeus and stuff like that. Like, it's like, these ratchet imps that are picking up on them now, because they're at such a low vibration that they don't even care. They'll take it, so basically they're afraid, and I felt it was crazy because, when I had that outburst, I don't think I told y'all the outburst I had. So basically, one day, I say almost a month ago, I was downstairs and I was having this on my mind too. And I felt the anger, and I felt so angry, and I felt like I was arguing with a couple of them in the 5D. Okay, a lot of, my, I think I have been, I think, tapping into the 5D has been something that I've been doing all along and just didn't realize I've been doing it since I was a young teenager, escaping to these places, now I'm starting to wonder if these were actual meetings, like when I think about it. But I had started having an argument with a couple of them in the 5D, and I just guess that part of it came out in 3D. So, I was basically saying, like, y'all have nerve to be sitting here talking about, going up against the karmics or whatever the case may be when you yourselves are under judgment. Y'all accepted disgusting petitions. Y'all are the reason why we're in this. I became actually angry with the Egyptian deities. I said, like, you know, our people love you. Like, you know, I said that. I was like, that, you know, our people who don't believe that we are Israelites, believe that they are fake or whatever, think that it's myth. You know, a lot of Israelites believe that the Bible was plagiarized from Kemet, which is a lie. We didn't plagiarize anything from them. A lot of the stuff that they, you know, the Egyptians started to, you know, do in their culture, they actually got from us. We actually helped Egypt become rich. Okay, we are the ones that helped save that place from the famine. If you remember the story of Joseph, we're the one that helped Egypt become great. You know, so, you know, I basically was saying, like, you know, our, you know, you're the, you know, y'all knew who we were the whole time, and y'all didn't say nothing. Like, you know, I wouldn't really expect any of the Greek deities to say anything, really, you know, but, you know, the ancient Kemets, like, you know, the ancient Kemet beings, you know, they look like us. They have melanin. They are of a darker hue. They are, you know, what we would call black people. So I was saying to myself, it's like, you know, y'all knew who we were the whole time, and y'all never bothered to say anything. And I got mad. I just snapped at them. Like, I was so angry at all of them. I was like, y'all really sat here. You know, our people believe that they are Egyptians. They believe that, you know, they reference you. They don't even care about nobody in the Bible no more or whatever. Or, you know, this system's messed up or whatever. I was just basically just going off on them downstairs, like, while I was making my breakfast. And I just laid in the law. Like, I just really, like, let them have it. I don't even remember everything that I said. Like, you know, you could hear the hurt and disappointment in my voice. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. It was coming from a real raw place. And the stuff that I was saying, you know, I felt like, you know, something else was speaking through me too. It's like, basically, you know, I kind of realized, you know, this is the Holy Spirit speaking. You know, she's speaking through me. Ruach is coming in here. And I was like, now I see what they mean by when you're on fire for God. So when I felt tears, I felt like various of them, many of them crying. And I'm like, you know, and it was confirmation. I think the crying showed a confirmation, you know, that I probably needed, because Kichi has said that they have feelings and emotions and personalities. I didn't really know how deep that went, because, like, tuning into their mythologies throughout the years, I didn't really think they cried like that, or whatever the case may be. But yes, they do have emotions. I'm like, wow, I never would have thought. I mean, the only emotions I thought they had was just basically being angry. You know, I didn't think they get jealous or, like, have the same emotions as we are. But at the end of the day, when you think about it, a lot of them actually did once upon a time walk the earth. Like, you know, they're not robots now, when, you know, using common sense here. So, as I was just sitting there, just taking it all in after having my outburst, I basically, you know, was like telling my sister, like, I feel someone crying. Very, you know, crying really, really hard. You know, others were crying, but this one particular deity, I really felt it coming from her. And my sister said she felt it was a female. I didn't say nothing to my sister because I wanted confirmation to see if I was really picking up on this person. And she was sitting there looking at me, and then she said, "Who is such and such?" You know, I don't want to rat out her name or whatever the case may be, or whatever. You know, it was a personal moment. So, you know, and I don't want to out her like that, but it was a female deity or whatever. And when my sister said her name, then I knew I was picking up on it. I'm like, wow. So I went upstairs, and I began to reflect on a lot of things that took place in my life throughout the years concerning my infatuation with mythology and my attachment to it. So I began to reflect and reminisce about certain things and where I was at not very long ago. I just left that. So if I do have an emotional attachment towards some of these things, then it's only natural, you know? And 2020, I officially returned to the Most High. And from then on till now, it's been a struggle to walk in this path. This has not been easy. I've been running from my destiny my whole life. I didn't even think I had a destiny, guys. To be honest, I thought I was just a nobody. You would have never paid me 3 years ago to believe that this is what my life would be. You know, for many years, I had wrestled with God. That's what the name Israel means. It means wrestle with God. God's people wrestle with him, man. Like, we really, really do. So, you know, even though I still have my attachments to certain deities or whatever the case may be, no, I have never worshipped them, but I've always had an infatuation and a passion for their stories, a passion for how they look, especially goddesses. I think they're pretty. And, you know, growing up, I didn't really know how to get in touch with my feminine side because of all the abuse and stuff. I was robbed of a lot of things that I am now reclaiming back. You know, tapping into my feminine energy. And, you know, it was always there. It was just suppressed. You know, I didn't feel, you know, feminine growing up. I was a tomboy. I was a nerd. I still am a tomboy and a nerd. You know, I'm always going to be that. Shoot, like, I love my comic books and stuff. But I had an anger with God for so many years because even back then, even when I had this infatuation with the other beings, I knew deep down somewhere in my heart, God was supposed to be the God I was supposed to belong to, that I do belong to, which is why I was angry with him, because I felt like, why are you allowing my life to go like this? You know, and that's another thing I blew up at them at too. I was like, y'all all sit there and try to think y'all better than him or whatever the case may be. I guess I was making accusations. I was just spitting out whatever because I was upset. I was like, y'all think y'all better, but none of y'all ever helped me, and or whatever the case may be, you know, which is not exactly true because they, you know, their stories gave me an escape route. You know, I felt like, you know, being a part of those mythologies, it just made me feel like I was special. It gave me an identity. When you grow up with abuse and then you find a world to escape into, you know, you're going to be attached to that. So yes, I do have an attachment to those stories. Now, I just wanted to clear that up because I don't want to sound hypocritical when I say you can only serve one master. You're either going to love one or hate the other. I do serve one master. I serve Ahaya, Ashah, Ahaya. I am that I am. I serve the God of my forefathers, the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I do not serve the other nations' gods. I don't serve them. I do not serve them. I do not give them offerings. I do not petition things to them. I do not look to them for my life, health, and strength, for my blessings, for any of those things that you would look to a God to. The only ones I look to, I only reference one God and one goddess. And if you want to know who the goddess of Israel is, I have said this plenty of times. It is Ruach HaKadosh, the Holy Spirit, which people ignorantly refer to this goddess as a he. And that was done by the powers that shouldn't be when they stole our forefathers' records, which I'm going to be getting into a special lesson about the goddess. Now, we know who the God of all gods is, but we need to really learn who the Holy Spirit is and the role she plays in this, because you're going to need to tap into that energy to connect with your divine femininity. You know, she will help you with what to do as a divine feminine, how to honor God, and also how to be a help to your twin flame, your husband. So yes, you know, I've been learning a lot of interesting things, you know, and I feel the growth coming in. But I am taking it, you know, one day at a time, of course, you know, reflecting on many different things or whatever may have you. So when I, you know, like I said, guys, you know, when I said I always have love for them, it's because of that escape I felt during that time. You know, you just, you know, I woke up to the truth. You know, I know who I belong to. I told, you know, I had a personal conversation with them. You know, I went upstairs after I had blew up at them, and you know, my sister told me that's the one you made cry. You know, she confirmed that to me. I went upstairs, and I'm telling you right now, I cried. I cried with them, because at the end of the day, I know what's about to happen to them. I know they are about to be punished for what they've done, for whatever they've done. And no matter how I feel, you know, at one point these beings were supposed to be our guardians. They turned their backs on on us, you know, by going with Lucifer. These beings were with God at one point. And that's another thing that Kichi said. She said that at the end of the day, all they want to do is go back home. And they know they never are going back home. That's why they cried the way they did, because it wasn't just me speaking. It was Ruach coming out of me as well. It was the goddess. She was speaking through me. So that's all they really want. They want to go back home, and they can't. Some of them are still in rebellion and don't care. There are still some of them, even there's angels that are still falling from heaven. Even right now, there are angels that are still revolting against God. That has never stopped, you know, and it won't stop until, you know, Christ returns and really, you know, put a seal on things. And that will be it. You know, this is why they're coming out the way they are, because they know time is up. Their judgments are coming. You know, like I said, I really cried. I really cried with them. I did. I said, I'm sorry that this is about to happen. Because if y'all go back to my angel video about this, a channeling message that, I got from angels that have fallen. I'm going to actually put that video in the description box so y'all can check that out and revisit that. You know, there's some interesting information that came up. You know, me and Bernadette were having a conversation about it, and she said, I think you should make a video about it. Because I had got so emotional and I had begun to cry. And it made more, you know, it gave me hope in my own twin flame connection, because some of these angels who have mates up there, they're never going to see their mates again, because they're about to be punished. It was just an emotional conversation that me and Bernadette went into about the angels and them being separated from their mates. So, you know, yeah, basically, you know, I had, you know, went upstairs. And I cried my eyes out because of the memories I have of escaping into my secret place, using my imagination, you know, going on adventures with the whole Jason and the Golden Fleece, and picturing myself in the arena watching Hercules beat a giant lion or whatever. Like, these are things that I escaped to escape bullies, to escape abuse, to escape feeling like I was a nothing and a nobody. So yes, I have an attachment to it. You know, and I told them, I said, you know, and I was speaking to one goddess in particular because I felt her tears that the most. You know, she's taking this reality harder than she's letting on. Which is why I don't want to out her. You know, I don't. While she's in a vulnerable state right now. You know, I said, you know, I told her and I told them I'll never forget what y'all done for me when I needed that escape, to just pretend I was a part of your world and, pretending that I was some sort of goddess, I said, I know who I belong to now. I belong to them, So, I'm just stepping out of the New Age community, from over a year ago. And, Bernadette helped me with that. Bernadette helped me get back on track. That's why I always, reference her and respect her. And I truly love her as a friend, as a sister. She really helped me take the hand of God and walk this path with God and accept my calling and accept that I do belong to Him. I had to let them know that. So when I say I love them, it's not I'm loving two masters. It's just that, that young girl in me has a connection. When you have a connection with something, you just have a connection, If God doesn't have a problem with that, nobody else should have a problem or issue or find suspicious or thinking I'm being contradicting. No, I'm not at all. I have my reasons for feeling the way I do, and even though I feel sorry and, for their plight and being judged or whatever, God is just in everything He does. His judgments, His judgments, He is righteous in all that He does. Me feeling sorry for what's about to happen to them doesn't make me more empathetic or more loving than God. No, God is just. God is just. His judgments are just and honorable. God is bounded to His word. God is bounded to what He says. He says that they cannot come back home. They cannot come back home. Whether any of us feel sorry for them or not. Our emotions are our emotions, but God's not wrong for that, because God does not turn back on His word. God is a righteous judge. God is a fair judge. God is an honorable judge. And I stand by whatever it is that He decides to do, no matter where my emotions are at and me having those memories. God understands why I feel the way I do. So that's what I wanted to clear up. It's very sad that they are about to go into judgment for all the things that they've done throughout the millennia. They have to pay for those crimes. They have to pay for a lot of things that they've done. And it's just that simple. So I'm going to let you guys go now. I thank you guys for tuning in. I've really grown to love my fan base here on, YouTube. Yeah, I said fan base. Yeah, I use that word a lot in the fan fiction community because I am a fan fiction writer. I write fan fiction. So, I really appreciate the following I've grown. I really do appreciate all the love and support I've been getting. When you're here on my channel, you are truly family, and I really do hope that you guys really get something out of this and, apply it to your own journeys. And, and I'm willing to listen to any knowledge that you can bring me as well. I really am. I don't want y'all to think I'm some stubborn little know-it-all. Yeah, I know Aquarius have this little attitude like we're know-it-alls. We're not. We just study and do a lot of hardcore research on things. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm still learning. As much as I know, I'm still learning. A wise man knows nothing. Okay? A wise man knows that he knows nothing. Only a fool knows everything. So you guys, I'm going to let you go for now, and I hope you guys have a great evening, great night. It's late. I love you. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys continue to stay blessed.